Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to the Tech and AI show on a UK radio. Once again, if the algorithm has given you this video, good for you. If you've been sent it directly, also good for you. I'm joined once again by my colleague in the studio. He needs no introduction. I'll let him do it himself.
Hello, my name is Dr. Muhammad. So we're back again on Tech and AI show. And I think today we have an interesting topic.
Yes. So, DeepSeek, which hit everyone's consciousness in the last week or so. There's been a lot of noise, and then now it's quieting down a bit. Me and you can talk about maybe some of the reality of the situation, because we're about 2-3 years away since when generative AI first went crazy in terms of the public being aware of ChatGPT and OpenAI. Then I know in recent year, Google and Gemini have been very involved, and they are both US tech companies.
Yes.
The difference here is DeepSeek is what?
It's Chinese.
Chinese.
Yeah.
Okay. What did DeepSeek do to the stock exchange or to the stock market recently?
Well, virtually the main controversy, not really controversy, what the main thing that drives the news is not actually the generative AI itself, because the technology has already existed, like you mentioned, ChatGPT owned by OpenAI, Gemini by Google. But it was the hardware component that DeepSeek used that kind of shattered the status quo imagination or view that this hardware component has to be so expensive, has to be huge, has to be this, has to be that, kind of sophisticated and complex image that has been built by these pioneers. Well, DeepSeek emerged with a very low-cost budget and then performing the same thing.
Yes.
So that is what actually, from my understanding, create this big narrative. But like, how?
Yes.
How were they able to manage to do this?
Yeah.
And it was like really interesting.
Yeah. It raises a massive question about competition.
Yeah.
Because maybe not everybody will understand, why is this a big deal? Why is this a big deal? Could you imagine your nearest competitor comes in and does exactly what you're doing for half the cost? Half, just like that. That is panic stations. That's people considering, are we doing everything wrong? Are investors being misled? What is happening? So I think that is the immediate shock of everybody taking their money out of other companies, because they're thinking to themselves, this competition is here, right? What do you feel about competition in this environment?
I totally agree with you. I'm with you 100%. I believe competition in the world should exist not only in the AI space, in the AI world, but it should exist in virtually all other areas, because it gives people choice.
Yes.
Once there is monopoly, you don't have choice.
Yes.
Then either it's a scam, it's hyperinflated, it's less quality, whatever, you have to accept it. But with competition, you don't have, you have to strive, you have to be creative so that you outcompete the other. And in this regard, I will say I'm really happy with the emergence of DeepSeek. It gives the world, us especially, that we are into tech and AI, we like it. It gives people alternative. It gives people option.
Yes.
Nobody is forcing you to choose this one or that one. You will be able to make that choice for yourself. Absolutely. Based on what you like. So I agree with you. I'm with you 100%. I am for competition. I am for more open, competitive cooperation from different countries. I definitely am not for monopoly, for one country monopolizing everything. Everybody has to beg or follow whatever they want to know.
I think a lot of us have played the game of Monopoly with our family and friends before. We know what it's like when somebody has all the houses on the board and they control everything. eventually they make everybody go broke.
Yeah, it's
and
not good.
Everyone gets frustrated and uncomfortable, and then you have to stop playing the game, right? So you're right. For me, hearing this competition, I immediately light up. I'm saying, great. It's not all down to one or two players.
Yep.
Obviously, there's some ethical things we can talk about in terms of because this is almost cross-border competition. It's not just within one marketplace. We know about the state and how they may have influence over organizations in China itself.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things in the background that we could talk about when it comes to data and the ethics there. We're not aligned to any particular AI software. I've tried DeepSeek, I've tried ChatGPT, I've tried Gemini, I've tried all three of them. So I'm not for or against anyone in particular, but I can see why people will be wondering who to go with.
But that's where the beauty of what choice. You see, we need to be realistic and accept the fact that there is diversity in the world. There are people that are different from you, from me, from them. That's how the world is. This is just reality. That diversity range from different things. If you look at it, from color, skin color, we are dark. You cannot say I'm white and white is white. You can't say that. That diversity is nothing, but it's just nature.
Yeah.
So diversity in color, in language, in nationality, in this, in that, it exists.
Yeah.
But that's why we are humans. We have to manage it well.
Yeah.
We have to know how to move. This reflects in what we create, which is the technology. There will be diversity, and countries that manufacture and produce these things follow the laws of the country, and sometimes, a lot of the time, it reflects with the values and the lifestyle of the people.
Yes.
Including the languages. Sometimes they look at specific market and target that market. So you will see maybe the same product, the way it works across different nationalities or jurisdiction differ because the market focus on this. But it also, so this is nothing, it's just reality. The good thing is you have option. You have the right to choose what you want. This thing does not align with me, does not align with my value, does not this, does not that. Fine, don't use it. This one align with me, fine. The way people see Western values, China may have their own Chinese values. They love it, fine.
Yeah.
Some people have their own values. I have my own values.
Yeah.
Fine, peace. Use the one you like. This is where we say, good. We have competition now. Use the one you like. Choose. There is option now. You can choose. So it's a very good thing for humanity.
I guess I'm in a bit of a position of privilege, really, being here in the UK. I can choose all three. I can test them. If you're in the US, you might be thinking DeepSeek would get banned. If you're in China, maybe they would be trying to do things to push down Google slightly. So where I'm sitting, I'm in a bit of a privileged position. It would be encouraging to see, actually, this is throwing down the gauntlet a little bit. It's saying, if China can create this, okay, US can create this, why can't the UK create this? Why cannot Africa create this? Because we don't have to just rely on one product. All the data is going to be different. We don't have to sell our data cheaply to them for them to give it back to us. We can have expertise in-house, create these things. But I do feel like it's thrown down the gauntlet. It said, go on then, we can do it. Let's see what yours is like. Let's see what yours is like. So I think it's a good moment to acknowledge where things can change.
And I think China, they did something good, but the world, especially different countries, can learn from that. When DeepSeek emerged, this was after sanction on China, when it has to do with the semiconductors. So they were banned from having access to this NVIDIA and other semiconductors companies. But they still proved to the world we can find a way out. They didn't depend on American semiconductors. They even showed to them, okay, fine, yours is even more expensive. We can manufacture and create. I understand that other companies, They say now they are studying the model, trying to understand, did they use their own, did they enhance this, enhance that. Whatever the case may be, they did it. You put sanction on us. You have your own. Today, boom, here is our own. Well, like you mentioned, UK. So this is where other countries can learn from China. Okay, we can also have our own product.
Yeah.
Africa, you mentioned, they can start thinking now, let's be creative. Using what we have, maybe we can actually produce our own. So I think I sincerely believe what China did with DeepSeek is a very good thing. I welcome it. I like it because it creates competition and it's like showing to other countries you can also use the resources you have at hand to manufacture your own product.
Yeah.
And like I said, you mentioned Britain, Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa, other countries in Asia. They can also try. In fact, a lot of these countries does not even have that sanction, that they have limitation or complete restriction from accessing some of the semiconductors, even if they want to buy those sophisticated ones, or rather, if they want to come up with a hybrid model or a complete new model, it's fine. I think there should be a shift. This China are challenging the world, but I don't know if other nations are really seeing it and understanding. It should be a wake-up call, not a cause for alarm or hate, China-phobia. No, it should be like they should drive us and say, if China can do this, we can do it.
Yeah.
And I think this is what China did. If America can do this, we can do it, and they showed to the world. What I want is to see other countries picking up the challenge and saying we can do more, or at least rather now America should show us that they can do better than China by coming up with a better model, far cheaper than this. So
Thank you. This is how it should be. Like, we can all learn from each other. You can be empowered by what someone else does, not in fear. From where I'm sitting, as a younger person looking at this, it could feel overwhelming. You're saying, wow, look at all this stuff happening. China, huge. USA, huge. What can I, a little person, do to influence this? But maybe it's in the little steps. Get educated, understand where you can get involved. It could be to do with the environmental aspect of the technology. It could be to do with the ethics of it. It could be to do with the more technical side of things. So there's an opportunity here to get involved rather than get overwhelmed and run the other way.
Of course. And that's the healthy and the best thing to do. Engage positively. It shouldn't be coming from point of panic. It shouldn't be from point of fear or jealousy. Rather, it should be motivating and a bit of positive competitive challenge. And like I said, it shouldn't be even between America and China. We should start seeing Africa on the stage. No, you are talking of 1.something billion. We should see India on the stage thinking of bringing their own, generative AI model. Where is Europe? Like Europe.
Maybe we can host some sort of competition somehow. The World Series of AI.
And precisely to focus, especially like you said, here and Africa. If China can do this, why were they able to do? If you look at the profile of the guy who owns the company, the DeepSeek, he's a young guy. He's a young person in his early 40s or 40 precisely, and a lot of the team are young people. But these are people who spend their time, their energy, their thinking toward advancing generative AI. I'm happy myself and you were here putting our own time, our energy, discussing this. But the way forward is to engage as much as young people as you can to start thinking toward this. China, they are not any special hybrid of humans or Americans that only them can monopolize this thing. Everybody can do. And that's why precisely we are here. to communicate to the world, to young people, especially young people at home. Start engaging this to learn, study it at home, look at all this model, start thinking, what can I enhance, what can I improve? It's guys, it's people like you and me that did this.
Yeah.
But instead, if we spend our time on other issues which can be addressed in a way that, like, sometimes I believe we channel our energy. Everybody in this world has 24 hours a day. The way you use it, the timing. The guy who owns DeepSeek and the team has been spending their 24 hours on this, and today we have DeepSeek. The same with OpenAI, the same with the Google team, Gemini. So, like you said, I want to see the British people, Africans as a continent, EU, India, let's have a new revolution of, competition toward creating AI models.
Yes.
Because AI has the potential to transform a lot of sectors. But another thing is, we should not make the mistakes we've made earlier on depending on few countries, few big corporations to feed us with everything.
Yeah.
This competition that started, let's sustain it, let us encourage it. But how? By participating. How can you participate? You need to know this thing, you need to put effort, learn, and you can. Yes, we can do, and
it happens.
We are doing as well.
So. Yeah, this is definitely keeping me busy, okay, because I am forced to keep learning, keep reading, keep comprehending, keep having conversations, because you challenge me, you challenge the thought, you bring up the topics, and it means I can't stay still. And I encourage everyone to just keep taking small steps bit by bit. And if it gets a bit overwhelming, you can contact us directly. You can say, hey, Dr. Mohammed, can you explain this again?
Yeah.
Tamar, I like the metaphor you used there. Can you just give me a bit more? This is part of the engagement process here, where we want to encourage understanding, but we want to teach at the same time. Right?
That's true, and I agree with you. And that's why we are telling our viewers, reach out to AUK platform, YouTube, Twitter, all the other social media handles. Leave a comment, like you rightly said. You have questions, interact, engage. We will respond to you. We are here for you to keep the conversation going.
And if you think we're being too neutral, being too balanced, then tell us what you think. Like maybe we're too in the middle. Maybe we're too relaxed about it. We're not shouting and screaming and saying, "Oh my God," but we're here saying, "This is important." Maybe you've got stronger opinions about it, so come and get involved.
Yeah, they should. So, and we are happy. And like you said, I think part of what I did when I download DeepSeek, so I want to probe it, because from my own area, like, I want to just check certain aspects. So what I did actually was to go and ask DeepSeek to translate things to my local language.
Okay, how did that go?
Well, they tried, because the translation was good. So I want to pick if they have like mistranslation, how they were gotten it correct, So I asked them to write something in English. Then I asked them to translate in my language. Then I asked them question, and I was impressed, because I just type it in my local language, and then DeepSeek replied to me in that same language, and it was like brilliant. I was like, wow. But I was doing that to probe and see if they were actually translating it correct, because sometimes mistranslation can definitely lead to misinformation. So I was kind of probing it, because it's a new technology, which from there you can observe if there is an issue, maybe raise them, say, okay, your algorithm is wrong here, you need to fix this. If not, they will be feeding people wrong information. So even things like this, I think someone at home, you can all do this thing. This is how you probe generative AI. Things that factual, you have full real knowledge, ask it. So when you see they give you wrong information or false, so that's how you probe AI. And like we said, that's why even at the comfort of your home, you still have you can participate. You are a stakeholder. Like
Yeah.
I said, I do this in my local language. Nobody asks me, but just to see the accuracy of the algorithm. So yeah.
Well done. Good. I'm glad you're challenging it, because
Yeah,
we need to do it more often.
Yeah,
We'll get them all together. We'll
we
do a
need to.
test, something like that, and see which of these AIs is actually competent. And I did see on the website you can raise issues. You can tell them what's wrong and report faults. So it's part of a process, which we've talked about on other episodes.
It's very key. It's critical, you see, because this is like a public version, something that is public. And generative AI are nothing more than school. That's how literally they are school. They are giving you information. They are giving you their source of knowledge.
Yeah.
So if they are giving wrong knowledge, it's bad. So I think it's good to keep an eye.
Yeah.
And like I said, there are multiple dimensions.
Yeah.
From factual knowledge to misinterpretation.
Yeah.
And that's why I test it on a different language.
Okay.
So all these things, and as well, because even the language issue, you see, sometimes because English has a what do you call it? The speakers, people who speak English as their secondary language are huge in the world. So they may focus more on English because they know many people will look at it and it's easy to pick mistakes and this and that in English.
Yeah.
So they may be a bit more relaxed on other languages. So that's why it's good if you are good in any other language. Probably try to see all this information. Are they accurate?
Yeah. You have to get involved. That's my call to action. Get involved. Whether you're a parent, whether you're a brother or a sister or somebody that uses and interested in technology, you can also probe it, and it's something you can do together. Do it with your family. Test it together, and I'm sure you'll get some interesting results. So, okay. Well, this has been a short one today, actually. So make sure you're subscribing to the YouTube channel. Make sure that you are engaging with AUK. Thank you once again for listening and tuning in, and to all the team making sure this happens. Yeah, good one. Nice one, brother. Take care.
Bye.
See you on the next episode.